Okay, welcome back to another episode of the Day After podcast.
What is up, guys? And today we have another Animation Domination episode, but this time we decided to put a little spin on it because, as you both know, Joe and we're otakus. We love anime. But, so even when it comes to our fantasy islands, things like that, we bring a lot of anime characters. So I thought it would be interesting if we do an anime tribe and a Western animation tribe, which is basically stuff that isn't anime. That's the easier way to put it. So like we got some, stuff from Disney, we got stuff from Netflix, Fresh Ink. Yeah, so I think we got a good mix on both sides, and I'm excited because there's a few people I've been trying to bring in for a while that I finally was like, yes, here. Um, Here we can finally bring them. So yeah, I'm excited.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I was excited for this idea. I love anime whenever I can bring anime, it's great. I think there's some great people that I've been wanting to bring actually from the Western animation tribe. So,
Yeah,
this definitely worked out.
I agree. All right. You ready to get into this?
Yes, yes. Okay, so the first person that I get to talk about right here is from this new anime that's coming out right now called Reborn as a Vending Machine. Now I wander the dungeon. We have Boxo.
Is
and
this like a isekai where
yeah. It's an isekai where it's the this guy, he loves vending machines. He knows everything about every vending machine. And such cruel fates, he ends up dying in a road accident by a vending machine that falls off and kills him. And then he gets reborn as a vending machine that can literally turn into any type of vending machine. um and yeah, ends up finding that there's this girl who has this thing called the blessing of might, which she basically then picks him up and carries him around.
all right.
um so he's definitely going to need someone like that. I will say I definitely brought someone who probably will have a mutually beneficial relationship with Boxo. So that will be exciting for that. Um, but yeah, Boxo is, he's a really good spirited guy. He just wants the best for everyone, and he loves to just give everyone some ramen. He loves giving them the snacks and drinks. And yeah, I think as long as Boxo is in the game, they're not starving. They're going to have
That
food.
that is fair.
Yeah. Now
I think
challenges, yeah, he's not going to be very helpful, but
I mean, he's providing nourishment and stuff.
yeah.
And there is a lot of strong people here. There's one person doesn't have the best strength, but like we'll get to that person in a bit because I'm really excited about this one. We'll get to them. But
Mhm.
yeah, Boxo, that seems so anime can be very crazy sometimes. And in Isekai, I know I kind of like casually threw that name out. To those who don't know, basically it's like one of those shows, specifically anime. That's why Isekai. Why it, sounds like it comes from the Japanese language. It basically means like a show where or movie where someone from our regular world wakes up in an entirely different world, usually in a different body, like our good friend Boxo here. And yeah, that's essentially what it means. And I think, with the animation one, I know especially once we get to the Western animation, we have some characters. Uh, but I feel like to kind of represent a lot of like anime, it's nice to get onto the more bizarre side of things as well, like this
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, I feel like he could be kind of like a Forky or a Clef Key in terms of just like how is he getting this far? That's what I'm hoping to see from Boxo. Or
He's
he's going
rep
to be very early and they just like take a bunch of food and say get out of here.
I don't know, I feel like he's possibly representing that archetype on our channel, the inanimate object that's sentient.
Yeah.
All right, next up from the anime from Studio Ghibli, Spirited Away, we have Chihiro Ogino. And for those of you who haven't watched Spirited Away, it's some people regard it as, Studio Ghibli's like one of their best films of all time. Even the Academy Awards, I believe it won that year, Best Animated Picture.
Yeah, I believe so.
And yeah, and Hiro basically she her family's moving away and like she's feeling sad and lonely. And then this is kind of like in an isekai way where she stops in this kind of like ghost town, quite literally, and her parents sees all this food and they start pigging out, and then they turn into actual pigs. And then, all the spirits start to come to life once the sun starts to set, and then she basically has to like be in the spirit world in order to try and save her parents, stuff like that. She has to work at this bathhouse under this like crazy witch. And yeah, she runs into a lot of adventures and stuff within this movie. It's really good if you haven't seen it. And yeah, she's someone who she can be a bit bratty, but she's also hardworking and like, she'll do what it takes to, get her parents to change back. Um, so she is very determined. Um, yeah, I think a very great character and yeah, felt like she would be cool to bring.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I just watched Spirited Away within this last year, so
For the first time.
yeah, for the first time, I finally started watching some of the Miyazaki movies.
Yeah.
Took me long enough to finally say, okay, I'll try.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of them are great. I still need to watch a bunch. I
Mhm,
mean, like every year they have like a Miyazaki thing. I've actually went to a museum and they had a Miyazaki exhibit that I went through and stuff.
mhm,
Um, yeah, what he's been able to do with animation, especially with basically so the difference between this one and some of the other ones on this tribe, she comes from a feature film as opposed to a series. So that would be a cool thing to shout out. But yeah, Spirited Away, when I first saw it, funny enough, I actually just moved to Florida, basically, not knowing anyone and everything. So it kind of one of those things where you watch something at the right time for the first time, and then it's like, oh, wow, this hits. Oh,
yeah,
wow, it's like
yeah, yeah.
it's relating.
Yeah. You can put yourself kind of in those shoes.
Yeah. All right, next up from the anime slash manga Black Cat, we have Eve. So, thing about Eve and why her name is just Eve. She is not necessarily a real human. She is cloned from her creator, and basically she has these like nanoparticles in her where she can basically alter, her physical being. Um, like most commonly she'll turn her arm into like a blade or something like that. And the thing is she was used for a weapon most of her life until the main characters kind of were like, hey, we'll take you in, you don't have to be a weapon. And she's like one of those kind of like cold anime characters that's starting to like learn about the world around them and stuff, um, and starting to, be able to feel for the first time. She's extremely powerful. I think the only thing was maybe she won't pick up on social cues.
Mhm.
That being said, she is highly intelligent, so maybe she might, but it just really depends on who gets the best of her. But I think she has a very strong chance.
Okay, nice. I haven't seen Black Cats, but
Essentially, it's like I haven't seen Cowboy Bebop, but it's a lot like Cowboy Bebop, except I'd say a more mystical in some regards as opposed to sci-fi.
okay, interesting. Nice, nice. Well, yeah, we'll see how she does. It is definitely a social game, so she's going to have to try to pick up on some stuff if she wants to get far, I think.
Yeah. All right, next up, this dude. So, from Bleach, A Thousand Year Blood War, aka Bleach the manga, which is where this picture is from, we have Gremi Thumo, which I believe that's how you say his name. So, basically, this dude is broken as all hell. Um, Essentially, Remy belongs to this people, this clan of people called the Quincy's that were thought to be eradicated from we've done Bleach on this channel before. Eradicated from this other group called Soul Reapers, who are basically gods of death, who these people that fight off hollows and protect the souls of the recently deceased. the souls of the people who are living, et cetera, et cetera. And yeah, so they were thought to be wiped out, but their leader was just gaining his strength over 1,000 years and decided to be like, hey, you know where all these soul reapers are, their whole home turf, we're gonna mess that shit up. And they did so, not once, but they're doing it again twice, for big goals to basically destroy everyone. Deeper than that, not sure yet, haven't gone that far, but yeah. And Grammy, so each of these Quincy's have a power. Grammy's is broken. Basically, his power is if he can imagine something, it becomes reality.
Oh wow.
Uh, yeah, so basically in the first he's only really in one episode, but man, he was like in the best episode. But yeah, this guy, he would be like, when we first see him, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna turn your bones into cookies." And then basically this one little girl, she wasn't able to like stand or use her arms or anything because they would break because they were made out of cookies. He can create other clones of himself out of thin air, other living beings. Um, he can like pretty much turn himself, make him as hard as steel and whatnot. The only reason this guy went down even was because he faced off against one of the strongest characters in the anime. And it seemed lopsided, but basically one of the downfalls of his powers, if there's something he can imagine, it could backfire on him. So the other guy was so physically strong and being able to like, keep up with Grammy's power, even though he doesn't have any like powers similar to Grammy. He's basically all bulk and, powering through stuff.
Uh-huh.
He was like, "Oh yeah, well if you can do that, I'm gonna match your power." But his body wasn't able to take the power, and so basically it self-destructed, something he couldn't imagine. And also his imagination built up this. We've had him on the channel, Kenpachi. He built up Kenpachi Sour so much in his imagination that he actually became what Gremmy feared, someone more powerful than him. And then that led to his demise. But this dude, he's cool, calm, collective, for the most part. Little smug too, because he's like, yeah, I'm the powerful one in my group.
Uh,
Yeah. So because of that episode, I was like, man, this dude's so badass. I want to
so
cosplay him even.
so all he has to do is imagine himself winning Survivor, and that's
I'm
gonna be the
sure
reality.
I'm sure there's some limitations to his power. Well, clearly there are. But
Yeah.
like, I feel like a lot of these people they might have like power inhibitors or like they can't do this too much. Maybe they can make Grebby can possibly give Boxo some legs. Like I can imagine that Boxo has legs and then it'll have legs.
Mhm.
Stuff like that. So he can participate in the challenge, which could make it's one of those things where Grammy might make it far into the game, but he has to be eliminated before the merge.
Uh-huh.
Otherwise, it'll be broken.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like if he starts being able to use his powers, especially like just each like immunity for just that, then it could be pretty strong.
Mhm. Definitely.
Okay, well, we'll see how Grammy does. Bleach, they had a tough streak for a little bit, but I believe recently they had a couple people who made it to the finale, somewhat
Yeah,
in the end.
yeah.
So he definitely
Urahara and Yuichi, they both. I mean, Urahara is a winner, so
yeah, exactly. So yeah, yeah, we'll see how Grammy does, how he'll compare in the like Bleach rankings of how well people are performing.
on a scale of Grimjow to Urahara,
Yeah.
which that still kills me to this day.
Yeah, that was crazy. He's our
3 times.
yeah, three-time pre-merge like first three boot person.
The Jeff Garner, apart from the controversy, basically the Jeff Garner of our channel, never made it to the jury.
Yeah, Jeff Varner.
Garner, my
Yeah.
bad. Anyway,
Yeah, I understand why you might forget the name.
well, I mean, the V and G and Garner is a bit more common, so like,
Yeah.
yeah. Anywho,
Okay. Moving on next to someone from the anime Doctor Stone, we got Kohaku. Have you seen Doctor Stone?
no, I heard it's pretty good though.
Yeah, it's really good. So yeah, basically the whole premise is the entire world gets turned into stone. Um, and then one guy, Senku, who I believe has been on the channel already, basically gets brought back, and he ends up bringing a bunch of other people back. But Kohaku is someone who was not raised in civilization. She grew up in the Stone Age and therefore has very good eyesight, very strong, and is like a natural hunter.
Okay.
And yeah, like her whole thing is like she doesn't really understand a lot of the science, but she wants to support Senku because she believes in him and sees all the good things that come from science. Even though really all she's really good for is just like she can basically see if someone is coming from like 2 miles away. Like her eyesight is that good. Um,
Damn.
yeah, so I wanted to bring kind of a strong female here, who can really bring some muscle, some good strength and immunity challenges, and I thought Kohaku, yeah, got to get also a cute blonde,
Yeah. It's usually my job.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, where sometimes I lack, Joe picks up the weight.
exactly.
But yeah. All right. Well, definitely seems like she's going to be a pretty good asset. I mean, this seems like more her domain than, I don't want to say everyone, but more her domain than most on this tribe.
Yeah, she is gonna be able to like turn this tribe into like a village in terms of like the resources.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, from Demon Slayer, we have Kyojuro Rengoku. And basically in Demon Slayer, there is the title kind of explains itself. There's these group of people, they kill demons. It's a bit more organized. And yeah, so the strongest of these demon slayers are called Hashiras. And each Hashira has their own kind of like style. And Kyojiro's style is flame or fire. And yeah, so Kyojiro, he is a brave guy. He's kind of he's also someone where he is like positivity personified. Like he will always stay smiling. He will always be, protecting people. He, very much presents himself as someone where it's like, yes, I've gotten a bunch of bentos. I'm going to eat all of them and savor every bite and yell out tasty with each bite. Um, he can be a bit silly, but he is super powerful. So much so, spoiler alert, in 3, 2, 1, he doesn't make it. He gets killed off in the season that really showcases him. But basically, what happened was there was this train where this very powerful demon was trying to take over and stuff. The demon fused his body with the train. And basically, Kyojiro was like, hey, I'm going to take on as much as I can. I'm going to protect like 6 different cars of trains. The 3 main characters, you guys take, the first 3 trains. I got this. And basically, he did everything he could to protect every passenger on this train, and he got taken out because someone that's even stronger than the demon that possessed the train was like, "Hey, I'm here to like screw shit up and kill you basically unless you join us." And he was like, "No, I'll never do that." And even besides all that, he still protected the train, and he dies a very heroic death, almost defeating the villain. But the villain, he kind of did something a little bit like, oh, sneaky, something dishonorable, so that way he can get away. But yeah, Kyojiro, regarded as one of the best from the show, very stoic, not stoic, very like heroic, very cool. So yeah, really wanted to bring him. I think he's a great hero to have on the tribe.
Nice. I've only watched still a few episodes of Demon Slayer. But like I know this character. Like I've
Yeah.
seen him like, on ads and stuff for Demon Slayer a lot. Like clearly a lot of people like him and talk about him. So yeah.
Yeah. So excited to have him. He was one I've had in the barrel for a long time. So I felt with this one, he was like a must.
Nice, nice. Cool. Well, we'll see how he does. Okay, moving on next to one of the people I'm most excited to bring. This person is Mash Bernadette from the anime Mashal Magic and Muscles. And Ryan, if I got the anime for you, do you like One Punch Man?
Yes.
Do you like Harry Potter?
Yes.
Now, what if we combine those animes and put it together and created a character who has no magical powers but punches things real good and beats all the wizards?
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
He kind
he's
of looks like the dude from Mob Psycho a little bit.
yeah. He's
It's the
just a
bowl cut.
yeah. He's just a Giga Chad, honestly. He literally gets introduced into the first like 20 seconds by lifting weights like super incredibly fast, and
Mhm.
then he just starts eating cream puffs. He loves cream puffs.
Well, he
um
has to make up those calories somehow.
yeah, exactly. And he's the person I was saying maybe has a good beneficial relationship with Boxo. He can carry Boxo around everywhere, and Boxo can vent him some cream puffs in return.
Perhaps, perhaps, pretty solid alliance there,
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that Boxo, his vending machine powers are unlimited.
Yes, yes. Yeah. He can just keep going if he wants. But other
This man
people,
should just solve world hunger. We just,
yeah,
we bring him to third world countries and be like, hey, here you go.
yeah, yeah. Now the thing is, Boxo has to be the one to do it, because otherwise people would have to insert coins, and so Boxo has complete control over how he's vending everything out to people. So,
That's
but yeah, Mash Bernadette is just it's one of the funniest shows. Like I really do recommend you watch it, Ryan, because it is one of the funniest shows that like exists.
What's it on?
It's on
Or
Crunchyroll.
okay, okay.
Yeah. I've shown it to many people, and they all have been dying laughing. Like literally, this one episode, just like I'll go just watch this like one scene. I've watched it probably about 50 times. I laugh every time.
All right. Well, this dude seems pretty cool. Yeah. So I think he's gonna be pretty good. I can also see him possibly bro out with Kyojiro a little bit.
Yeah,
Strong dudes. Yeah.
yeah, he definitely is very much he likes good people. He very much gravitates towards that, and if he sees anyone with disgust or like looking down on people, then he does not take it very well.
Well, he's not gonna like Yami Merrick a lot because literally the picture we have, Yami Merrick is looking down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that's like literally the whole point of the show is all these people who have magical powers and they think they're so great because they have this magical power, and then they lose to someone with no magical power, and he's like, yeah, how does that feel?
Oh, he and Grammy. I can already see Mash's first like targets, Grammy and Yami. They're both, or Yami Merrick are like, you know, already going to be gunned for by him.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's Mash. Hope he does well here. Next up, we got someone from my favorite anime, One Piece. This isn't a Nami shirt, but I am wearing my Usopp
Oh, stop.
One Piece
Yeah.
t-shirt right here. And yeah, Nami is the cat burglar for the Straw Hat Pirates and the Navigator. And she's pretty much, even though Luffy is technically the captain, she probably acts more like a captain than he does most of the time. Like she's the one that has like her head on her shoulders and is like
Yeah.
trying to be more like let's logic this out, everyone. um, and yeah, no, she's great. She's literally one of the first people to join the crew. So if you've watched literally just like an episode of One Piece, you've probably seen her. Um,
Yeah.
and the meme with her now is that her body has gone through a drastic body change from episode one to modern day. Um, I'll just say Oda, the creator, I think he starts getting a little horny during the anime or the during making it, and just starts
Oh, yeah.
making all the characters have way different body shapes.
Just make everyone sexy.
Yeah, he
Make everyone
basically does
sexy.
that, and he technically, I guess, can get around it because he does a time skip, and then he
Yeah,
basically was like, okay, now let's really unveil these characters, and like if you just look at like beginning Nami to like what she is now, they're only like 2 years difference, and they look like 10, 15 years difference.
yeah. I mean, I remember when you showed me Usopp, and last time I saw Usopp, he was this like scrawny little dude with a very long nose. And
Yeah,
then when I saw the picture you showed me, I'm like, holy shit, he got like shredded.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
glow up.
and Usopp, well, his made a little more sense because the place that he went to, he basically got really fat, and so then he had to work out. So that makes sense why he gets sculpted back into looking
Yeah.
good. There's no explanation for Nami, like why her.
Except she got older.
Yeah, but like really, don't. I mean, she was 17 at the start, and then she becomes 19. So it's not even like she's hitting a real mature age in terms of that.
No,
So,
no,
but yeah, yeah. I mean, I love One Piece. Nami is a great character. Her story arc in Arlong Park is so great. Just a lot of emotions that go into that. So yeah, I want a One Piece person to do well. We haven't really had a good One Piece person here.
that's fair. That's fair. And especially, also it's kind of relevant because the live action show is coming out soon.
Yep.
I know, it hasn't come out yet when we're recording it, so I know like we're hoping it's not Death Note or like the Netflix Death Note, not
Yeah.
the Japanese made ones. Those were actually good. But like
Yeah.
we're hoping that it's a good adaptation and not one where we're like, what did they do?
Yeah.
Why would they do this?
Apparently Oda, the creator of One Piece, has actually been like making he basically said that he doesn't want it to come out unless he approves it. And apparently he says that
Okay.
he approved it.
Well, that's good. That's always
Yeah.
good to hear.
Yeah. So I'm hoping I don't think it's gonna be great, but I think it will probably be the best live action adaptation, which means it'll be okay at best.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Just
Yeah,
see
I'm gonna watch
what
it.
it's
I'm gonna
yeah,
watch it.
yeah. All right. Next up, we have from Yu-Gi-Oh! The original series. We have Yami, Merrick, Ishtar. So basically, um in Yu-Gi-Oh! Basically, if you haven't seen the show, the card game they play, it's actually based off of this ancient Egyptian game that was played like 5,000 years ago. And yeah, so these cards are actually powerful and they have spirits of like the ancient monsters they used to battle in the past. And basically, Merrick was kind of like one of the gatekeepers of like one of these old tombs and stuff. He even has what's known as a Millennium item, which holds some of the power that was used back in the day. So Merrick is like the main villain for season 2 and 3 of the show.
Ooh.
And essentially, he wants to get Yugi's Millennium Idol and or not Millennium Idol, Millennium Puzzle. And, basically, take over everything and be more powerful. And he'll use very dark methods to do it. Like this man drove the censors crazy because him and his rare hunters, which are his minions, basically would make very dangerous games that the American censors had to create the shadow games
Yeah.
just so they can show it to kids. Because, like, basically, if you watch the anime and you're like, oh, wait, there is a soul blade where if it touches you, it's going to send you to the shadow realm. The shadow realm doesn't actually exist. Basically, it was a buzzsaw that was going to chop your legs off if you lose the duel. Or, oh, you're going to fall to your death if you lose this duel. And they were like, no, it's going to be something that transports you to the shadow realm, things like that. Even Yami Merrick, what happens to him? So, like, when we first meet him, he is cool, calm, collective. He's just regular Merrick, but he has dissociative identity disorder, or more so, like he has a split personality. And basically, there's a darker side to him that's like super, super evil, kind of psychotic. Basically, like he killed his dad because he was just pushed too far. And yeah, this dude is a maniac. He has like the crazy anime eyes. In the anime, they would go, they'd show him and then they would show like part of his eye just kind of like protruding forward and stuff in like a shadowy way to just show how mad and full of evilness this dude is. Um, but no, this guy, he plays mind games. He's crazy and I love him. He's awesome.
Yeah, I like Merrick too. Definitely the Battle City arc is, I think, the best arc in Yu-Gi-Oh, at least in my opinion.
Hands down.
Yeah,
No, hands down, it's the
yeah,
best.
yeah. I mean, I like Duelist Kingdom. I think it's fun, but it
It is fun.
definitely it's I think it was just the gateway for Battle City. So
Battle City definitely had a lot higher stakes and stuff.
yeah,
Season one, they were just figuring out what, the show is and everything. Fun fact,
season
season
zero.
one of Yu-Gi-Oh! You probably already know this. I
Yeah,
may have even said it on the channel before. Season one of Yu-Gi-Oh! Out here in the West is not actually the first season.
yeah.
Essentially, what happened was, well, the creators of Yu-Gi-Oh, it was supposed to be all about these like, games and like basically Yu-Gi turning evil and having to do with the spirit of like the puzzle and whatnot. And doing all these different games like, oh, if you lift your or like, oh, we're going to stab basically this wad of money, and if first person to actually stab themselves, they lose, things like that. Like, it's very dark. It's commonly referred to as season zero, but there was one episode with Kaiba, one of our winners, where, oh, we're going to play an actual card game like Magic the Gathering. And people love the card game section of the manga so much. They were like, hey, can this like be an actual thing? And then the creators were like, yeah. And so this entire franchise, this giant card game was all created because, it wasn't their original thought for it, but they featured it in one thing. And then they were like, oh, we just discovered a gold mine. We accidentally created a gold mine and they didn't know it at the time. So they kind of had to retcon slash make a new season and kind of like alter their past a little bit to kind of like fit everything into it.
uh-huh.
It was
Well,
pretty cool.
Well, I'm glad they did that because I mean I love Yu-Gi-Oh. So yeah, that's uh I mean yeah, I definitely knew about that. I remember watching season zero, at least the first few episodes, and being like,
Yeah.
this is so weird. Like
It
it's
was
basically like a slice of life anime, like school kid kind of like setting, and then they're playing different games here or there. It's just so different from anything that you see in the actual anime.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look it up. It's probably on YouTube somewhere. It's pretty
Yeah.
cool. All right, last but not least,
Okay,
take it
next
away.
up, we got someone who comes from anime that has so far produced two winners out of the two people who have come from it. We got Yutori Kokorogi from a Tomodachi game. Now, I will say it's hard to talk about her because I've read the manga and she is so different in the manga than she is in the anime.
Which version are you using for it?
Well, the thing is that it's not like the manga is a different version of her. It's like I've now known about her character in the manga that's is being hidden so far in the anime on purpose.
Okay, so she's actually evil.
She is actually an evil devious mastermind, yes.
All right.
Yeah. She pretends to be like a really shy, vulnerable girl to like garner sympathy and get people to basically do her bidding and get her to progress further. Um, but really, yeah, she's doing this all intentionally, and she uh I mean she's so evil that like if you read any comment section about in the manga, like people hate her now. They like are calling her like just terrible names because she is
Yeah.
just she just does some of the most evil shit later in the manga that is just like diabolical and like trying to basically kill like some of like the favorite characters like over and over again. um yeah, and there's like a little bit of sympathy. Like her backstory is her mom basically worked herself to death to like support her. um
Yeah.
and so she ended up having to basically do some escort service as a high schooler to like help her mom, who is like basically not able to do anything anymore. um
Yeah.
but so there's definitely that of like that helps kind of build some of the sympathy. But then it doesn't really help that she's then literally trying to push people off cliffs.
No, no. We all have a choice.
Yeah.
Batman lost both of his parents, and then, well, granted, Batman was rich, so maybe not the best example. But so many superheroes lost their parents and they became heroes. It's no
Yeah.
excuse.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, she I really hope she does well because she hates Yuichi.
All right.
Yeah, she like her she's trying really hard now to like kill Yuichi, or maybe not kill, but she wants his life to be as miserable as what he has made her life.
All right. I can buy her. I'm gonna be like, okay.
Yeah.
When All-Star 19, already some pre-existing relationships that can really screw stuff up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It almost feels like at this point, we just need to have Yuichi have just a really bad season. Like we just need to get as many people who hate Yuichi
Or at least that's my MO.
yeah. Uh, but yeah, Yutori. I mean, she's probably going to be playing the sympathetic. I don't know what to do. Can you help me do this stuff? But secretly, she's doing that on purpose, and she's going to make other people, probably, uh, be exposed into the limelight instead of her, and end up. I mean, I think she's going to be a pretty big sleeper threat, honestly.
All right. I can see.
Okay. There's the anime tribe. Time to move on to the Western animation tribe.
All right. So first up, we have Azula from the Fire Nation from Avatar: The Last Airbender. And basically, this lady, she is the evil sister of almost Zuko, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I almost said some. But yeah, so basically, Azula, she was basically the favorite child because she has the conviction to, be evil, stuff like that. And she relishes in it too. She's unhinged as well. She's missing a few screws, but that doesn't stop her from being very powerful, leader of her own team to pretty much, do her father's bidding and also, bring Zuko to justice, stuff like that. She brilliant, brilliant, very smart, very deadly. I think the only like downfall she really has is her ego, and if she snaps, she snaps, and then could leave her crying and ruin. So basically, you just have to break down her ego, and then you're good.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely someone who thinks highly of herself in terms of like definitely puts Zuko in his place quite a bit throughout the anime. I guess just the animation. It's weird because it to me Avatar feels like an anime, but
Yeah.
it's not.
But it uses the anime style, but
Yeah.
basically anime means anything that comes from Japan. So like
Yeah.
there's even anime aspire things that Netflix will I'm targeting Netflix because they've been guilty of doing this before, where it's like American creators and stuff. So it's like, they will dub it as a anime, but it's technically not an anime
Yeah.
because it doesn't originate from Japan. Same argument could be made for Boondocks,
Mhm.
which very, very much has a anime art style to it, but doesn't count as one, even though it's like, I would say obviously Avatar feels more like an anime than Boondocks, but Boondocks does share that style as well.
Mhm. Okay. Well, we'll see how Azula does here. Definitely rooting for her. I like Avatar. Okay, next up, someone who I absolutely had to bring onto this. Now, I don't know if you know, but the voice actor for Dale Gribble just passed away.
I didn't know. Man, that bites.
Yeah, just like a week ago or something like that, which is really unfortunate because they're doing a revival of King of the Hill, and apparently he was able to get a few episodes in, but not all of it. So that's unfortunate. So for that reason, I wanted to really bring Dale Gribble. To me, he's one of my favorite characters from King of the Hill.
Yeah,
He's paranoid. Always thinks the government is coming for him. He's going to pretty much provide nothing beneficial to his tribe because if he's got to do an immunity challenge, he's going to fake doing the challenge. He's not actually going to do anything with it.
yeah.
um,
No,
yeah, he's if they're smart, they get rid of him. But I will say this is a disaster tribe with a lot of people who I think won't know how to play the game.
there's five people that you could label as incompetent.
Yeah.
Um, so that's why when I saw our list, I'm like, oh God, this is Nickelodeon Tribe 2.0.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I mean, they did well. So somehow the incompetency worked on that season, but how often can that work? I don't know.
yeah, I mean, Dale, when he puts his mind to stuff and because, there is some merit to Dale. It's hard to say, but like, he knows what he knows. And he was able to he can have social skills. He is the president of the Arlen Gub Club.
Yeah.
Even though like, he's probably not the best. He does care about his son, which is really not his son, but like, it's one of those things where Dale, he's an idiot through and through. And like, he's like that he's a prepper. He does pest control basically, and like sometimes he cheaps out on that. His wife kind of is the one that is the breadwinner and stuff, and he just kind of goes and does his own thing.
Yeah, I
Um,
will also say, not great social skills because he doesn't realize that his wife is cheating on him with someone who basically, and then he thinks that the guy is like his best friends. Like
yeah,
he ends up like he's just completely unaware of it for pretty much the entire show.
the entire show. They
Yeah,
never, no one ever tells him, you know, there's never an episode where Dale like finds out. And there's times where it's come close. There was times where
yeah,
both his wife and John Redcorn, which is the name of the person who is having the affair, his wife is having the affair with, almost flat out tells him, "Hey, your son's not your son," and all that. But
yeah,
it never actually comes to that. I don't know for the revival if they'll do that, but no, Dale brought so much comedy to the show. Like I'd say out of the gang that hangs out in the alley, he's probably the craziest, um, which means also the funniest. Like
yeah. He's
this
got he's
man,
got one liner after one liner. It feels like every time he opens his mouth, it's great.
oh yeah, um, love this dude. Don't think I would stand being in a room with him,
Yeah.
but he's entertaining as all hell.
Yeah, it's great to see when you're not having to deal with them.
Exactly. All right, next up we have from Hunchback of Notre Dame, Esmeralda. Now, Hunchback, besides Frozen, is my favorite Disney animation movie. Um, And, basically Esmeralda, she is a gypsy. She is pretty much, she lives in the sewers, stuff like that. And she basically makes her money by dancing around, stuff like that. And she is pretty, but she does have a good heart. She pretty much tries to, be like Quasimodo, you are not a monster. And even did like a hand line reading thing and be like, hey, I don't see a monster line. That means you're not a monster. She's also someone where she will go against the government and stuff and be like, calls out pretty much um, calls out the main bad guy in front of the entire city and be like, "Hey, you're corrupt. We want justice for stuff. We're being treated like secondhand citizens." He's like, "I don't like that, but I also love you because you're hot." And basically, she like doesn't buckle or anything. She like stands up to her, almost gets burned at the stake because she refuses to be with this man. But yeah, Esmeralda has a lot of fight in her, very strong woman. I think somewhat underrated Disney character because she's not, I feel like Hunchback, even though it was well regarded and stuff, it's not as talked about as
Yeah.
much as other Disney films, which is ironic because when people do talk about it, it's like, oh man, this was like one of the darkest Disney films of all time. Plus, the music in that is fire, like from the opening song and everything, like just crushes it. So yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
it was definitely a dark tone. That's probably why it's not talked about too much, is for because it's a kids movie still. I
yeah.
could definitely see the public eye starting to be like, maybe let's talk about Little Mermaid or the like something that's got like maybe a little bit, but like it's still pretty light, and you can have all these like there's not too many like super light like songs or something that you can really be like, yeah, that's just like a good old fun for the family, kind of
Yeah.
go for it.
Well, I mean, like even their one song, "Heaven's Light," that one was like completely contrasts with the main villain, who's Heaven's Light. Next song, Hellfire, and it's
Yeah,
like 10 seconds later they go into that. It's made to like contrast with each other. But
yeah.
no, I feel like man, it's such a great movie. Like, yeah, like if a roommate, I remember one of my roommates, he was like casually, well, not casually, there was a reason he was watching it, but I was stopped what I was doing and watched with him because it was so great. But yeah,
Okay, well,
all
let's see
right.
how she does. Let's move on.
All right. Next up, we have another strong woman. We have Hera Syndulla from Star Wars Rebels. Now, she finally got her live action debut in Ahsoka, played by, Mary Elizabeth Weinstein, who is married to Obi-Wan Kenobi. Not the character, but the actress that I just mentioned.
Mhm.
Funny enough. But yeah, basically Hera, before she joins the Rebels and all that, she and a few others had their own kind of like group that was already kind of like fighting against the Empire. And she was kind of like not necessarily second in command, but she was like a co-leader with someone else called Kanan, one of the Jedis. And she was like the best pilot they had and stuff. She was part big sister, part, motherly figure, but also part leader. She wore a lot of hats in that group. And she can be sympathetic without being like, oh, and like like be sympathetic, but also not like overly like a pushover too. Like, pretty good with a gun as well. Very strong, smart as well. So yeah. I I was thinking like I was having trouble with the last spot. I was like, oh, who should I bring? And I'm like, you know what? Star Wars Rebels. It doesn't get talked about enough, but now it's starting to because of Ahsoka. And I watched all of Rebels, and I was like, Hera seems pretty cool.
Nice. I've never even heard of Star Wars Rebels until you sent me the list, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, I will say, I mean, it's a newer Star Wars thing on Disney Plus, right? Is that what it is?
2015, like
2015.
2014 is when it was like 2014, 2018 when the show was going on.
Okay.
Um, but it was like so like Clone Wars, had its run, and then when the Disney, Disney bought it out from Fox and everything, they were like, "Oh, hey, let's do our own show." Um, and so they made Rebels, which takes place. between episode 3 and 4, but obviously closer to episode 4, A New Hope, because this is kind of like at the start of the rebellions and all that. But yeah. And the Disney Plus shows, they've been mentioning a lot of stuff that have happened. Ahsoka flat out has like two of their principal characters are from this show.
Mhm.
But yeah, Hera, very strong. She also, there's another character who I was thinking of bringing, but I was like, I have a lot of villains already. But the main villain in that one, like season 3 onward, Admiral Thrawn, also very great. And she unflinchingly talks to this man. And this dude is like one of the scariest villains of all time in that sense of like he's cold, calculating, but like very smart. He also is physical as well. And like the dude is a mastermind. But, and Hera will be like in a conversation with her and, with him and be, unflinching.
Mhm.
And yeah, so Hera, very strong.
Okay, okay. Well, we'll see how Hera does here. Um, okay, moving on. I needed to bring some muscle to this tribe. I
Oh,
needed
yeah.
someone who's strong. It's about all he's going to bring to the table, though. We got Kronk from the Emperor's New Groove, and also the sequel, the Kronk's New Groove.
Krong Snoop.
Yeah,
They Disney knew they made a gem when they made Krunk.
yeah, exactly. He was such a beloved character that they gave him the sequel. Like he got to be the main character of the sequel. But
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, he's just a great character. He's just super fun, makes me laugh all the time. Really dumb. I mean, he's basically just
he's a
the
himbo.
yeah, he's the himbo. He's the minion. I think he's definitely. I mean, I could see like Azula just ordering him around and him just doing the bidding, not
Yeah,
questioning why. Just he's gonna do it.
maybe screw it up a little bit, but
Yeah,
nah.
yeah,
Yzma has also been on this channel way, 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 way back.
yeah.
To not much success. So like Kronk, he's his own person. Um, yeah, I'm when you brought him, I'm like, yes, I'm very excited to have him here. He's just this lovable big guy, and also a master chef as well, one of the
Mhm.
best. Um, and yeah, cares a lot about that. Also very good with kids. Like this dude, what he lacks in intelligence, he makes up pretty much everywhere else.
Yeah.
So yeah,
He's such a good guy that it sucks that he is like was part of the villains for Emperor's New Groove, like because he's just like he deserved better. He deserved better than Miasma.
oh definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's Kronk. Moving on to another person from Total Drama Island. We had a whole season for it, and I feel like she was one of the people who, ended up not being on it, even though I think she very well could have made a spot there. But now she's going to be here. We got Lindsay, who is the blonde girl from it, and she's just she's pretty dumb too. I was saying we kind of got the himbo. Now we got the bimbo. uh, yeah. I mean, she's another character who's really funny. Should have won season 2. Actually, I mean, I've said this, I believe, on the channel before.
A few times,
She
but
was
it
she
still
was
baffles me.
yeah, she was literally supposed to have won the season, but because the voice actress couldn't like commit to like those dates to film like the last like 5 or 6 episodes, they literally had to switch it to Beth winning, which is why I think she's literally the worst winner Total Drama has had. Because there wasn't a story for her really. They just kind of had to like last minute say, okay, here's let's just give her a story here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like Beth, I will talk her up a little bit. I mean, like she did have her story and it fulfilled a role in season 1 of her finally standing up to Beth, even though
Yeah,
or standing up to Heather, even though it didn't pan out. And like I would say that her quote unquote story this time around was more so finding her own strength, but it was mostly overshadowed about her this whole thing about it made it look like, oh, she had a fake boyfriend when it
Yeah,
turned out she really didn't. She actually did, have a boyfriend and stuff. But even then, she
yeah,
was like, oh, I might break up with Brady and stuff so I can be with Justin, the handsome guy that's on the show.
yeah.
That was a little, like I
I
said,
I
drama.
I choose Duncan as the rightful winner because you
Same,
get a there's two different winners that depending on your region. I choose I choose Duncan.
same. Action, action. And even then, with like Duncan winning in some of the region stuff, I'm still like, action is just, and this is me being an actor and stuff and loving filmmaking. Action is just like the weakest, in my opinion,
Yeah.
besides maybe Pacateo Island.
Yeah,
I
I think
think,
it's definitely above that. I do think it's ahead of Revenge of the Islands. I think that I think whenever you just have more, I think even if there's some bad stuff that's
yeah.
dragging a little bit, I just feel like I got more out of it.
Uh, I don't know. I feel like I like Revenge of the Island. I think it introduced a good cat. I literally rewatched everything. I'm
Yeah.
still on Redonkulous Race right now, but like, I don't know. Like, total drama action, I'm like, it just doesn't. It just like was such a step down, and it's like there's some seasons I like better just because of these certain characters or like better story arcs, even if it was condensed. But I'd say I won't say that Pacateo is better than it, but I would say like if someone said total drama action was their least favorite, I wouldn't, disagree with them. I think Pacateo is the worst, but like
Yeah.
total drama action is like
Yeah,
sixth
well, the
place in
thing
all of
is,
them.
Pagatail Island, I think, has maybe like two or three characters that I think are like okay to have been brought to the universe.
It
And then
feel it's well, it feels like with Pacateo Island, one, it's kind of a forgettable season. Two, it felt like fan fiction.
yeah. Oh,
Like
yeah,
it was like,
definitely.
yeah, it felt like, oh, these characters don't really. One, some of them are wacky. They didn't interact with each other well, except for like the characters they written to interact with each other. Like, yeah, it just didn't hit the right notes. But yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, I'm rooting for Lindsay here, just like how I brought Kohaku from the anime tribe here. Got to bring a hot blonde here to make the Western animation tribe. I'm looking out for the blondes in this season.
yeah. Ryan was like, "No, I'm gonna bring these people," and Joe is that the demon that possessed me to bring all the blonde ladies to our Brantsteels left my soul, and now it has possessed Joe.
Yep, yep. It's
Because it was like, wait, Joe actually wins these. I'm going to creep over through Zoom, cyberspace, and corrupt Joe's mind.
uh yeah. So yeah, we'll see if that helps, the me picking the bonds this time. So yeah. Next up, we got from Big Mouth, Missy Foreman Greenwald, who probably has one of the biggest growths on the show.
Oh yeah,
Starts off as kind of like the nerd who doesn't really hasn't really found herself yet.
yeah,
In pretty much anything really, sexually or culturally. And she ends up having huge changes. Which is literally like the whole point of the opening song is going through
yeah,
changes. Uh, and yeah, she ends up having some of the most relationship romances that are in the show. She ends up coming into her terms with being a black woman as well. And yeah, is just a really fun character to watch and see. And I did write a spec script for Big Mouth, and Missy was one of the best characters to write. I'll just say.
No, Missy was great, and yeah, like you said, her growth, like even like she went from like because the show takes place in middle school for those who don't know what Big Mouth is, and it's basically they're all starting to like discover stuff about them because they're all going through puberty from hormone monsters, anxiety, mosquitoes, stuff like that. Depression kitties. There's all these imaginary characters, which we'll get to one in a sec, because right next to Missy is another character from that universe, but on the spin-off show. But yeah, Missy, she goes from like, a kid basically, wearing overalls, very, like youthful, stuff like that. And then as the show progresses, she starts to, come into her own on all cylinders, becoming a stronger woman, becoming, embracing her roots and stuff, as well as like losing the overalls and dressing a bit more mature.
Mhm.
Yeah. So Missy was a great character from that show. And yeah, surprisingly, the one with the most relationships on the show, which if you saw like the from season one, that being the case, one wouldn't necessarily think that. But
Yeah.
no, there's something about Missy where she's a very, I would say, she's one of the characters that gets into the least amount of trouble in a sense. Like everyone else kind of fucks up big time. Well, she's not prone to fucking up every single episode. Like, like she does, make her mistakes, but I would say her mistakes aren't as bad as, let's say, Andrew's, her
Yeah.
first love.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, no one's as bad as Andrew, so yeah. So I thought Misty would be a good addition here. Definitely though, younger, middle school. So we'll see how she handles the survival aspects of
Oh
growing
yeah.
up here.
She is the youngest person on this tribe.
Yeah, in the season, I think, right? Yeah, yeah. Oh, I guess maybe
Well, no,
Chihiro.
Chihiro and Eve
Yeah,
are probably around. Chihiro definitely younger.
yeah,
Eve is probably around the same age.
yeah,
But yeah. All right. Next up, from Human Resources, from the Big Mouth universe, we have Pete the Logic Rock. So remember when I was saying like, basically basically everyone has their own hormone monster, their own depression kitty, their ambition goblin, and all these different things that kind of like make up a person. It's like, and essentially, if you've seen the show, basically only you can see your own one that's assigned to you, and then you can like communicate it. And basically, it's like, oh, what you're feeling right now is anxiety. Oh, you're having all these anxious feelings, or oh, you're feeling aroused. And this is this and this. Pete is what is called a logic rock. And basically, you know, they're the people that keep you grounded. Is like, hey, this is the more logical decision, or hey, this is the logical way of going about it, or reasoning with this. We're using logic to justify our reason. And Pete, voiced by Randall Park, and I love Randall Park. I think he's a fun,
mhm.
I love his old like stick of like his old demeanor of like, oh, hey, I'm a very positive guy, but things don't quite work out for him. He's kind of like the lovable loser. And in this one, he's no different. Basically, he has a crush on the main, I want to say lady because there's a few that fall. Basically, he's in love with a love bug and stuff. And, he is someone where, he tries to be very loyal. He tries to be very patient, stuff like that. And yeah, sometimes he, breaks down and sometimes he let his wild side loose, but like he's very straight-laced. There are times where he'll do some questionable things, but it's like in the moment and stuff. Like he's only a rock, I would say, only human, but he's
Uh-huh.
clearly not human.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say he's a very fun character on the show. He's a big nerd.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
logical, as his name suggests.
yeah, very logical. So I imagine his tribe chemistry with half this tribe is not going to be very great.
Yeah,
Or if anything, he is going to try and help people like Lindsay, Krunk, and Zoidberg, like, get their shit together.
yeah. I mean, I think his best bet is just to band together with Missy, Azula, Esmeralda, and Hera, and just go to rocks. Even just
Go to if he gets eliminated by Rock Draw, that is like the most one. I think that's a bit racist to the irony.
Yeah.
would be so perfect.
That would be
I
hilarious.
don't want it to happen, but
Yeah.
I can't deny the humor
Yeah.
that it would bring.
I think he needs to just play with logic. I think he should not be trying to play with illogical players like the other five.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we all know this guy. We may have mixed feelings on him depending on how depending on what kind of household you grew up in.
Yeah.
We have Peter Griffin from Family Guy. We haven't really had too many Family Guy contestants on here, or at least ones that have left like a memorable performance. But like we've done The Simpsons a lot, and I feel like, I was thinking Homer, but we haven't really brought anyone from Family Guy except for maybe Lois.
Yeah.
But Peter Griffin, for those of you who don't know, who may have been living under a logic rock, this guy, he is a idiot.
Yeah.
Um,
He's selfish.
Basically, he's selfish. He will pretty much like he cares about his family to an extent. I'd say on later seasons he gets a bit more less sentimental and stuff, but he gets in all these wacky antics.
Yeah.
Like he will spend all of his money on like a helicopter or a Zeppelin and stuff. Um, he works at a brewery. He's a bit of an alcoholic. He The dude gets into different shenanigans all the time. He might form an alliance with Krunk because of like, hey, you sound like my buddy Joe. And he's like, oh yeah, I mean, I get that sometimes. Because Patrick Warburton also voices
Yeah.
Krunk and a character on Family Guy. But yeah, Peter, he's a man child. Yeah, this man, oh God. I can imagine so much chaos happening on this tribe just because Peter wants to he has an idea and doesn't listen to anyone, and then it just blows up in everyone's face.
Yeah. Yeah. It's great that uh Pete and Peter are right next to each other because I feel like they're so opposites in pretty much
Polar opposites.
every way. I can just see Peter saying something and then cutting to Pete the Logic Rock being like, that logically makes no sense. And then we just see Peter doing it anyways, like in the background.
Or like Peter, because on Family Guy they have all these cutaways and whatnot,
Yeah.
and I can imagine Pete being like, actually, that's not actually practical. That's not how that works. And Peter is like, why don't you just let me live my life?
Yeah.
You know?
Logically, it would be better to tell the story in a singular fashion and not just cut away to some silly joke.
Yeah. Simile and metaphors are crutches, he might say.
Yeah. But yeah, I like Peter Griffin. I love Family Guy. That's one of the shows I grew up watching. So
Same.
I like it. I'm glad you brought Peter. Now that you mentioned, I'm surprised we haven't brought Stewie Griffin.
I was debating him too, but I was like, because with the people I brought so far, I was like, you know what? I kind of want to bring Peter.
Yeah.
Because, like, when I built this tribe, I was like, okay, so I didn't know who you were bringing. I made my list first, and I was like, you know what, Griffin, let's bring the lovable goofball to kind of counterbalance everyone else. And then when I saw yours, like, oh, I even messaged you. I was like, this team is going to be nuts.
Yeah. I think on this tribe I literally brought four like disasters. So
Yeah, Missy has big shoes to fill
yeah.
because, yeah. Well,
Okay.
actually, Krunk's not a disaster. Like I said, he lacks intelligence, but he makes for up for it in every other way,
Yeah. He brings something to the table.
and not just spinach puffs.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm rooting for Peter. I hope he does well, but also I think I feel like he shouldn't do well, so that's gonna be fun to see how he plays. Um, Next up, we got someone from Futurama. We got Zoidberg.
Oh yeah,
I'm watching the new season of Futurama right now. It's really good. If you haven't watched it yet, definitely give it a watch. It's great. And Zoidberg is just such a great character because he's just a lobster. He's just uh no one likes him. Everyone almost acts as if it'd be better for him not to be there. He's a doctor, but for humans, but knows basically nothing about human anatomy.
No.
um yeah, he lives in a dumpster. He like almost the whole like joke for him is just everything that could go wrong. They just say, let's have Zoidberg just do it, and
Yeah.
yeah,
He is not a very confident doctor at all.
no, he's pretty bad at pretty much everything. So there's very few things that he's ever done in his entire life that have
Yeah.
gone out well.
No. But there's something endearing about that. Like he is a
Yeah.
very lovable guy. Like, he's just kind of like one of those characters where, especially on some of these like sitcom based shows, there's the guy that everyone kind of just shits on. And
Yeah.
Zoidberg is that character.
Mhm.
I haven't seen the new season yet. I know there's a few shows I'm trying to watch The Bear right now, and I just finished season one, so that's one I need to get on soon, finish. But yeah, Zoidberg. I've watched Futurama basically in its initial run, and when it had that like 2011 revival and stuff.
Mhm.
It's one of those shows that it just keeps coming back.
Yeah. It's
You know,
so funny. It's I mean, it's you can tell the writers are just like crazy intelligent because of everything they have to do for it in terms of structure, in terms of the science elements that they're bringing into each episode.
yeah.
Um, yeah,
Well, I mean, Matt Groening behind it, like I say what you want about modern Simpsons. I still think it's still a good show, but like, no, Matt Groening, he's one of the
yeah,
he's one of the founding fathers of like, more adult oriented animation for a reason,
yeah. I actually think that the fact that the Futurama has been canceled so much has been part of its success. Is that there's been long gaps where I'm sure the creator Matt Groening is like thinking about like interesting things that could happen in Futurama, and because you're allowing a lot of that time to happen, you're able to not like rush ideas. Like Simpsons now, they kind of have to rush some ideas just to get to the finished product,
Yeah.
and aren't able to fully flesh out and really like get as many jokes as they maybe want.
Well, maybe if the studios will give their writers more money.
Yeah, that's a
Sorry,
start.
shots fired. Like
It's a
have
start.
to have to. Anywho,
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, Futurama is one of my favorite shows. I think it's just intelligent. I think it's super smart, super funny. And yeah, Zoidberg was someone who came from it. Bender was on here and didn't do well, so we're gonna have to see how Zoidberg does.
I think Zoidberg will probably fare better, to be honest.
Yeah.
All right, so that
Okay,
is everyone. Um, all
yep.
right, let's start with anime. Who would you say are your top three?
My top three. Um, I'm gonna have to go. They're actually all in a row here: Mash Bernadette, Nami, and Yami Merrick.
Nice, nice. I'm gonna have to go with Grammy, also Yami Merrick and Kyojiro. But Mash, way you were talking about him and stuff, I'm like, he's a close honorable he is an honorable mention, but he's like a close third place.
Mhm.
But yeah, he just seems cool.
Okay. And then Western animation, I'm gonna have to obviously I'm rooting for Dale Gribble. Want to respect him there. And then I'll also be going with Zoidberg, and I'll go with Zula. Let's put Azula in there.
I'm also gonna go with Azula. I'm gonna say Krunk as well. Kronk is like he deserves, they did give him his own movie. He was a prominent character in The Emperor's New School, which was like the spin-off show that they did
Yeah.
back in like the late mid 2000s. Um, but yeah, love Krunk. I'm gonna also say Pete the Logic Rock because I love this character. And honorable mentions to Dale and Lindsay for different reasons. One, Dale, because I love King of the Hill. It was one of my favorite shows growing up, and I'm so excited for the revival, but also, in honor of, the actor playing him. And Lindsay, because and this was a little small thing with Total Drama. Some of their big characters or like side characters kind of got diminished returns in later seasons. And I feel
Yeah.
Lindsay was probably, I don't think as much as Lashana, but I would say she is probably the second biggest victim of that.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely feels like after action, they didn't know too much what to do with her.
Yeah. But, you know, you always have love for me, you
Yeah,
know, support.
exactly.
All right.
Okay.
So let's get right into
Let's
this.
let's do it. Okay. Let's proceed if it will load.
It will eventually.
There it
There,
goes.
it,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, it totally now just changed to actual people.
What?
Um, okay, well, I guess I'll stop this real quick and I'll go get the season back.
All right.
Okay.
Um, I'm, yeah.
Zoom. Okay. Okay, here we go. We are back in this. Um, okay, so Mash and Nami are competing for the anime tribe.
Because they got snacks.
Peter and Lindsay compete for Western Animation Tribe.
Okay.
And the anime tribe wins reward. They win pre-cut lumber and additional supplies to help set up camp. I will just say there are so many competent people over here on the anime tribe compared to the Western animation.
They were like, I'm just thinking about that meme right now from I Think You Should Leave. And it's like, you sure about that? You sure about when I saw Peter and Lindsay, I'm like, you sure about that?
There could have been some better people that they could have chosen. So
Very much.
okay. No alliances on the anime tribe so far. No alliances on the Western animation tribe. Who wins immunity? And the anime
Yep.
tribe wins immunity. They also win Flints.
Very good.
Okay, Eve and Merrick have a major fight.
Yeah, probably she doesn't like he's a
And a
big
new
villain.
alliance forms between Boxo, Mash, and Yami Merrick.
Why is Merrick in here?
I don't
Maybe
know.
maybe like, Mash is like I'm just to keep a close eye on him.
Yeah, keep your
You
friends
know.
close, enemies closer. I will say in the anime, he does end up befriending the people who he is against in very shonen anime fashion. So maybe there's something going on there. I don't know. Dale and Missy bond strongly. Lindsay is
How?
impressing the rest of the team. It's a sad
Dale is like
sight.
the exact opposite of Missy in almost every single way.
Maybe Missy read a book about guns, and Dale's like, I also read a book about guns.
Or about an interest in bugs.
Yeah.
You know,
Zula and Kronk find something in common.
you called it. Azula's going after
Yep. And a new alliance formed between Dale, Lindsay, and Missy.
It's not how I thought this would go, but
Yeah.
maybe Missy is like, okay, they may be dumb, but they offer stuff.
Yeah. Um, I don't want it to be, but I think we're losing Zoidberg.
Possible. I don't know. There wasn't too much to go off of for that one, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
I
So
feel Zoidberg just feels like a first boot. Like his whole thing is everything goes wrong for him. He's
I can see Peter go out here as well.
uh
All right, one way to find out.
first vote goes to Azula.
I swear to God.
Second vote goes to Hera.
What the hell?
Third vote goes to Zoidberg. Fourth vote goes to Hera. Fifth vote goes to Azula. Sixth vote goes to Hera.
What?
Seventh vote goes to Hera Azula. Eighth vote goes to Azula. Ninth vote goes to Hera. One vote left.
Ow.
And Hera is voted out.
This tribe is doomed. This tribe is straight up doomed.
Yeah, how did this voting go? So Azula, Esmeralda, Kronk, Pete, and Zoidberg voted Hera. Dale, Lindsay, Missy, and Peter voted Azula, and Hera voted Zoidberg. So Hera could have gone to rocks if she just voted Azula.
Wow. I'm just like, why? I guess like I can see Azula and Hera not getting along, but it's like one of those things where it's like we can build this pissing contest later. Let's get rid of the incompetence.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's now a terrible sign for this tribe if you're literally getting rid of one of your competent players.
Yeah.
And Mash finds the anime tribe hidden in the idol. He saw something that he thought was a cream puff, and he picked it up and was and tried to bite it, and it ended up bending a little bit, but it ended up being the idol.
Yeah. Good on him. Pretty cool.
And Pete, the logic rock, finds the hidden immunity idol.
Well, you see, Pete, he did his homework. He watched all the seasons of Survivor prior to this one, all our Brantsteeles, and was like, all right, logically speaking, they typically hide the idols here, here, and here, so I'm gonna check those areas first.
Mhm.
Always check inside the like cracks between branches, things like that.
Yeah. Okay. Good on Pete there. Who wins immunity? And the anime tribe wins immunity. They also win a fishing kit. Okay. Back to tribal for the Western animation. Chihiro has a major meltdown.
She misses her parents.
Kohaku is injured but gets treated and can stay in the game. Luckily, Boxo can turn into a medical vending machine and got some bandages. So
That helps.
yeah. Azula and Zoidberg have a major fight. Esmeralda and Kronk bond strongly. And now Lindsay leaves this alliance. Now it's just Dale and Missy. Oh, but a new alliance formed between Azula, Esmeralda, Kronk, and Lindsay. So Lindsay leaves that to join
Pretty
Azula.
person
Yeah,
alliance.
yeah.
Well, I say this might be bad for Dale. I also say Zoidberg,
Yeah, I'm
possibly
still gonna
Missy.
say Zoidberg.
I would say Missy might be in more trouble because this team is not. Yeah, I mean they got rid of Hera,
Yeah,
so I'm
actually,
pretty
if you
sure.
think about it, let's all the people who are competent, even though alliances just got formed, how do we know if those are any true? For all we know, Azula, Esmeralda, Missy, and Pete are in danger.
Yeah. All right. That's all we can do.
No one stands. First vote goes to Pete. Second vote goes to Pete. Third vote goes to Pete.
I swear.
Fourth vote goes to Pete.
Where are the other votes?
Fifth vote goes to Zoidberg. And Pete is unanimously voted out.
What the hell? I don't even blame him for not playing his idol. That just
Yeah.
doesn't make sense.
Logically, that made no sense for them.
It's bullshit.
Oh my god. Wow. That is crazy. So he had the idol too. He just found it.
That sucks.
Oh, okay. Okay, who wins immunity? And the Western Animation Tribe
Okay.
wins immunity. They also win pillows, blankets, and chairs.
They
They
get a little bit of a break.
Yeah, they stumbled ass backwards into this win, I feel.
You're
uh,
not wrong.
Mash and Nami bond strongly. And a new alliance forms between Boxo, Eve, and Mash. Boxo and Mash are actually just forming
Running this.
alliances together.
All right.
Kronk and Missy bond slightly. Dale and Missy have a small fight. So
Does
that
oh,
alliance is solving a little bit. Is this I don't know who goes home here. I mean Shihiro had that meltdown, so maybe her.
that's the only thing I can really think of.
Yeah, this tribe's been pretty good for the most part. So
We're losing someone.
first vote goes to Yutori. Second vote goes to Yutori. Third vote goes to Kohaku. Fourth vote goes to Yutori. Fifth vote goes to Kohaku. Sixth vote goes to Kohaku. Seventh vote goes to Kohaku. Eighth vote goes to Yutori. Ninth vote goes to Kohaku. One vote left. Yutori, we are tied between Yutori and Kohaku. Will we be going to rocks or will they be flipping on one of these two?
That scroll bar doesn't give me a lot of faith.
Yeah, I think Yutori is totally going to play the sympathy card here and get people to feel bad about wanting to vote her out.
Oh God.
But Kohaku though provides a lot of benefits to your tribe living. So
I feel Rock is going to be drawn.
yeah,
I'm not good.
first votes goes to Yutori. Second vote goes to Kohaku. Third vote goes to Yutori. Fourth vote goes to Kohaku. Fifth vote goes to Kohaku. Sixth vote goes to Yutori. Seventh vote goes to Kohaku. One vote left. Yutori, we are going to rocks. Okay. One of these eight will be drawing a rock and leaving the game. Who you think it's going to be?
One of my people.
Yeah, it would be hilarious if it's Grammy, right? Get a bleach person just take down here, right?
It might happen to that. It might happen to Mash,
Yeah,
who's not mine, but I really enjoyed
yeah,
Mash. Uh, could be Merrick, someone I care about.
yeah. Okay, let's see who it is. It's Nami. No.
That really,
Oh, oh.
dang. They lost one of their better players.
Yeah, I
That's not
mean
good.
that's a leader right there. That is someone who can navigate you through the game, and
Dang.
just got taken out through a rock draw. Oh, okay. How do these votes go out? Oh, it looks like there was a flip, but did oh yeah. So Grammy and Mash both flipped, and because they both flipped, it went to a rock draw still.
Dang. And
So
Matt and Remy's not worried because I'm like, I know I chose the right one.
yeah.
It's not the rock that goes home. He just wills it into existence.
uh, so
So he doesn't
box.
care if it goes to rocks. So he'll
Yeah.
split.
Yeah, it's unfortunate though. I mean, his Nami voted with him originally, so Boxo, Eve, Merrick, Mash, and Yutori voted Kohaku. Chihiro, Gremi, Kohaku, Kyojiro, and Nami voted Yutori. And then yeah, those two switched.
Man.
Okay. Okay, who wins immunity? And the anime tribe wins immunity. Boxo and Gremi find something in common. They both can think of something and make it come into existence.
Yep.
Kohaku is impressing the rest of the team. And Mash is injured but gets treated and can stay in the game.
What's with this tribe and they're hurting themselves?
Yeah. They're trying to impress each other. Oh my gosh, Zoidberg has found the hidden immunity idol. But the thing is, he ate it, so he has to now play it from inside of his stomach.
Yeah. I wonder if that actually works in
Yeah,
actual survivors. Like, hey, I accidentally swallowed it. Do you
yeah,
need medical? It's like, no, I'm playing the idol.
yeah. Well, he can just cut himself open and it'll just bring it out. I'm sure he'll be fine. Esmeralda has a major meltdown. She is not happy with this tribe's trajectory.
No, no, no.
Okay, a new alliance formed between Esmeralda, Kronk, Lindsay, and Missy.
All right. So it's Azula on one side with this trio, and then Missy with the other.
Yeah,
So the only ones that aren't in an alliance right now are Peter and Zoidberg. Because like Dale and Missy, even though they had a fight, they're still technically aligned. So it's tough to say.
yeah, yeah.
I'm
I think
thinking
I
one of
think
the
this can go a lot of
incompetents finally
ways.
go home.
Okay, no one stands. First vote goes to Peter. Second vote goes to Peter. Third vote goes to Zoidberg. Fourth vote goes to Zoidberg. Fifth vote goes to Peter. Sixth vote goes to Zoidberg. Seventh vote goes to Peter. And Peter Griffin is voted out of the game.
They just hate Pete's.
Yeah, they hate Pete. Hey, at least now they got rid of someone who was bringing some incompetency to this tribe.
Yeah, they were like, huh, maybe that's not a good strategy for us to have. Get rid of all the good players
Yeah.
this early.
So Azula, Esmeralda, Kronk, Lindsay, and Zoidberg voted Peter. Dale, Missy, and Peter voted Zoidberg. Okay. We got a tribe swap. Okay, so Kyojiro is exiled. The exiled castaway is given the opportunity to find an idol nullifier. Kyojiro does not find the idol nullifier.
Damn.
Okay, so the new Vuku tribe is Esmeralda, Gremmy, Yami Merrick, Yutori, and Zoidberg.
Okay.
The new Jabeni tribe is Zula, Boxo, Chihiro, Dale, Gribble, and Eve. So Boxo doesn't have Mash here to carry him around.
No, I mean, I'm pretty sure Eve is able to because of her like the nanotechs inside of her, she can probably help out.
Uh-huh. Tiva tribe is Kohaku, Kronk, Lindsay, Mash, and Missy.
All right.
Okay, so definitely good for the anime for the most part, except for the Tiva tribe. That's the only one where the Western animation has the numbers.
Not only that, they also have this is one of the only tribes where it's like it has like a solid like alliance that have numbers
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. Zoidberg does have the idol though, so even though that they don't have the numbers here, potentially an idol play could bring them back into it.
Maybe.
Okay. Who wins immunity? The Tiva tribe wins immunity. They also win pastries, coffee, and iced tea, iced coffee. And the Jabeni tribe wins immunity. Okay. So Zoidberg has the idol. No events occurred.
But this is the one that's going.
Yeah. Nothing's happening there. Eve is impressing the rest of the team.
Oh,
And then Eve leaves an alliance with Boxo and Mash. She's out. And Shihiro works hard at camp and becomes tired. Wow, that's just like the movie. You know, she's working hard, trying to trying to get her parents back. She's trying to win in this case.
it's what you got to do.
And no events occur on the Tiva tribe. So
It's tough to say. It really is tough to say whether or not Zoidberg plays his idol too.
yeah, I mean, I think we're getting either an Esmeralda or Zoidberg vote. Now it's just does Zoidberg play the idol?
That would make the most sense.
Yeah. Zoidberg uses the idol.
Was it right?
First vote goes to Zoidberg, does not count. Second vote goes to Zoidberg, does not count. Third vote goes to Zoidberg, does not count. Fourth vote goes to Esmeralda.
Oh man.
Esmeralda is still voted out.
Dang.
Zoidberg, Esmeralda, you two needed to work together, not go against each other.
Especially the person that's coming in to fill that spot is another anime contestant. So
Yeah. Yeah, Esmeralda, Grammy, and Merrick voted Zoidberg. Yutari and Zoidberg voted Esmeralda. Wow. Yeah, Zoidberg, you really screwed yourself there. You got a good idol play, I guess,
I
but
mean,
like you
it
kind of,
saved him. It saved him being eliminated. So that's sometimes that's all you need.
yeah, yeah. Maybe Grammy will bring enough. Kyojuro will bring enough firepower to help them win some immunities.
Probably.
And Mash finds the Tiva tribe hidden immunity idol.
That
Mash
means he
now
has
has
two.
two idols.
Good on him.
Okay. And the Jabeni tribe wins rewards. They win 3 hens and a rooster. And the Tiva tribe wins reward. They win a dozen eggs. And the Tiva tribe wins immunity. And the Jabeni tribe
Oh
wins
man.
immunity. Zoidberg, no.
This doesn't look too good for him.
Yeah, this is not
It's
looking.
nothing. Whoa. Two in a row where nothing has happened.
I think it's just like, why do anything when clearly we're going to take out the Western animation peeps?
It makes sense. Still, man.
Boxo and Eve have a small fight.
Oh no.
Kronk and Lindsay have a small fight. And now Lindsay leaves this alliance of Kronk and Missy.
Dang. What was the fight?
Yeah, I don't know. Just
She didn't quite like the spinach puffs.
yeah. Yeah, everyone's a critique now. Everyone's a critic.
Yeah. All right. I
Okay.
feel like it has to be Zoidberg or Yatori because I know she wasn't really in the numbers, but let's be real. I think
I think even that was just she purposely was trying to align with
split
Zoidberg to
votes.
vote Esmeralda. I think that was
Yeah.
just mixed.
Yeah. I mean, I was just trying to give some kind of second option. I
Yeah,
mean, clearly this season has surprised us with some of their voting patterns, but
yeah,
it does seem not too great for Zoidberg right now.
yeah. First vote goes to Zoidberg. Second vote goes to Zoidberg. Third vote goes to Merrick. And
Yeah.
Zoidberg voted out.
All right. But if this tribe goes again, they'll have some decisions to make.
Yeah, yeah.
Also,
All the
so
easy decisions are gone now.
also, we've only lost one anime character.
Yeah,
So far, this pre-merge has been mostly Western.
yeah. And the one anime, by the way, was just a rock draw. So it was a random. It wasn't even like someone actually made a bad move to get voted out.
Oh man. Yeah, we only have five.
And Chihiro finds the Jabeni tribe hidden immunity idol.
Very nice.
Okay. Who wins? Rewards. And the Tiva tribe wins reward. They win cooking utensils, herbs, spices, and kebabs. And the Jabeni tribe wins reward. They win kebabs.
If they don't win, we might lose another anime character.
Yep. Tiva tribe wins immunity, and the Jabeni
Yeah.
tribe wins immunity.
At least
Okay.
it's not a total sweep of it.
Yeah, they gotta play now. Let's see if something actually happens. Merrick is impressing the rest of the team. That's it.
He's talking about his tournament at Battle City and how he almost won and stuff. And basically he only lost because his other personality surrendered. Otherwise he would have won.
Yeah.
It's like I would have won that tournament.
Okay. Chihiro and Dale bond strongly. Interesting,
Okay.
interesting. Dale's social game. We got to give him some props for a social game, I feel.
I think the kids just find him funny.
Yeah. Kronk and Mash bond strongly. And
They're
then Lindsay leaves
appreciating,
another
oh
alliance.
my God, Lindsay, what you doing? But I think Kronk and Mash are just appreciating each other's gains. Like, oh,
Yeah.
you're so buff. You're so buff.
Yeah, exactly. They're just some Giga Chads just Giga chatting it up.
Yeah.
Mash works hard at camp and becomes tired. Um,
I think maybe Utori.
I
I
think we're
really don't want
missing either Utori or Gremmy. I'm gonna say it's one of those two.
to. Grammy's been kind of silent this game.
Yeah.
Thing is, I don't want to lose either of these three. They're literally the three. I was like, oh, I'm rooting for these three.
Yeah.
All right.
First vote goes to Utori. Second vote goes to Gremmy. Third vote goes to Gremmy.
Yeah.
And Gremmy is voted out.
They
Hey,
looked at him and was like, you were really only in one episode. What you doing here?
yeah. Well, and also we talked about it. He could be too OP in individual immunities.
So they took him out at the right point.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let's do our assessment of who's playing the best games.
All right, I feel Kronk is playing a pretty good game. I feel just looking around, I think Missy is as well. It's really tough with the anime peeps because they haven't really had too much stress testing with their
Yeah.
alliances and stuff. Because it's either A, oh, it because like one was rock draw, two, there was one where oh they legit just didn't have to worry about tribal, and when they did, it was with a tribe where oh let's just knock off the Western animation, and then it was like oh okay, well guess we have to choose someone. So yeah, um,
Yeah, I think Mash is. Yeah, I mean, he's got two idols, and
Nash is
his
probably
social
playing the
game has
best.
been very strong as well.
Yeah, I'd say out of the anime people, he's by a large margin playing the best.
Yeah,
I'd say Boxo is kind of up there, but
yeah.
I
I
mean, like,
think Boxo's coattailing right now.
yeah,
Like I think his success is part of Mash's success.
agreed, agreed.
Okay.
But yeah, I'd say Lindsay's starting to mess up too. She's like, oh, I'm breaking alliances and
Yeah,
stuff. I don't
yeah.
want to be aligned with anyone.
Yeah, her game's unraveling. I do think Dale's social game has been very strong. Been
Yeah,
aligning with a lot of the younger players. Maybe try to get to the end with them and say, hey, you really want to give the win to these kids or to the adult?
he could be like, my wife is about to leave me. Just drops that.
Yeah.
That would be dark.
He's known this
Um,
entire time, but just didn't want to face the truth until he went out here on Survivor.
yeah. If Dale deep down was actually an evil genius, I could see him do shit like that.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. The secret advantage is currently hidden. Missy wins the first individual immunity.
Very good.
Okay. And Mash finds the vote steal.
Nash is just OP.
he keeps thinking he sees cream puffs, and they end up just being idols and advantages.
And it's a vote steal, which
Yeah. Up
I
to
don't know.
final five.
I mean, definitely can come in handy, but right now he seems so well positioned
Yeah.
because I can legit see that I can just see the pagonging of Western animation, to be honest.
Yeah, it's looking that way. Chihiro and Merrick bond strongly, and Lindsay worked hard at camp and becomes tired. So she's just like, I'll just work hard, keep me as long as possible.
I think Lindsay will probably go home here.
uh,
She
um,
doesn't really have numbers. She's part of the Western animation. I
see,
just
I'm gonna say Azula. I think they're gonna take out a strong player in her.
makes sense. I can see that as well. But my vote's for Lindsay.
Okay. And Mash uses his hidden immunity idol. First vote goes to Mash, does not count. Second vote goes to Mash, does not count. Third vote goes to Mash, does not count. Fourth vote goes to Eve. Fifth vote goes to Lindsay. Sixth vote goes to Eve. Seventh vote goes to Eve. Eighth vote goes to Lindsay. Ninth vote goes to Eve. 10th vote goes to Lindsay. 11th vote goes to Eve. And Eve
No,
is voted out. Mash did not need to play his idol.
he did not.
So let's see. How did this go down? So Boxo, Chihiro, Dale, Kyojiro, Lindsay, Merrick, and Mash voted Eve. Kohaku, Missy, and Yutori voted Lindsay. And Azula, Eve, and Kronk voted Mash. So Azula and Kronk voted Mash there.
Hmm.
Interesting. I thought Mash was doing pretty good in his social games. So getting some
Maybe he was
votes.
just like, I have to, might as well.
Yeah, and he bonded with Kronk too. I thought that they would, be broing it up.
The Giga Chads.
Yeah, yeah. Where's this Giga Chat alliance? So we need to make it official. Oh, you know what it was? Azula wanted Mash and
Oh
told
no,
him to vote against his friends.
that's why.
Okay, group number one is Azula, Chihiro, Kyojiro, Lindsay, Mash, Nutori. Group number two is Boxo, Dale, Kohaku, Kronk, Missy, and Merrick. And group number one wins reward. They win a dozen pizzas to be enjoyed at camp. And Kyojiro wins immunity.
Nice.
Good on him. Good on him. Kohaku and Missy bond slightly.
Okay.
Chihiro and Missy have a major fight. Boxo and Kronk have a small fight. Boxo is sticking up for his boy Mash.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like the just based on the number, Zula and Krunk are in danger.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
I think
Kronk. I think I
probably Krunk,
yeah.
but I think strategically they should get rid of Azula.
Yeah, I think that's the better move is to get rid of Azula, but I feel like they might be playing a little bit emotionally here and just taking out Kronk after Kronk was supposed to
The
be friends with
betrayal.
Ash. Yeah. Okay, no one stands. First votes goes to Boxo.
Very nice.
Second vote goes to Chihiro. Third vote goes to Lindsay. Fourth vote goes to Chihiro. Fifth vote goes to Boxo. Sixth vote goes to Lindsay. Seventh vote goes to Lindsay. Eighth vote goes to Chihiro. Ninth vote goes to Boxo. 10th vote goes to Chihiro. And Chihiro.
Oh,
Wow.
what happened?
So Boxo, Dale, Lindsay, Merrick, Mash, and Utori voted Chihiro. Azula, Chihiro, and Kronk voted Boxo. And Kohaku, Kyojiro, and Misty voted Lindsay.
Well, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I I don't know. It's
Maybe
interesting.
they knew she had, something and was like, hey, we should probably get rid of her when she least expects it.
Yeah, true. Um, and Azula and Kronk still targeting Boxo and Mash here, but this time going for Boxo.
Yeah. They
Uh,
understand the threat.
yeah. Yeah, I think they're like, we got to get rid of these two. Boxers literally is giving all of us food and nourishment on Survivor, and Mash, as Cat can find advantages, idols. Clearly, he's very strong.
Yeah.
Okay, reward challenge. Group number one is Azula, Boxo, Kohaku, Lindsay, and Missy. Group number two is Kronk, Kyojiro, Mash, Merrick, and Yutori. Dale does not participate and cannot win reward. That's a conspiracy right there. And group number two wins reward. They win a trip to a burger bar complete with beer and soft drinks.
Very nice. Now who wins?
Boxo
Foxo.
in a competition called Roll Away the Dew. He's got some
But
Mountain
he's
Dew.
a fox.
Yeah, that's interesting for Boxo to win that. And Yutori finds the hidden immunity idol.
All right.
Lindsay and Merrick find something in common.
I'm scared. I am scared for Lindsay.
Yeah. Missy and Merrick find something in common. Oh, geez.
Merrick coming in with this late game, or mid game, kind of like, social game, being like, all right, I'll be sure to recruit all these ladies.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'm gonna say Azula. I think you gotta either take out Azula or Kronk, if you're
Yeah,
Mash or Boxo. And then I think they want to take out Boxo or Mash, but clearly they're not getting any numbers to do it.
no.
First vote goes to Azula. Second vote goes to Missy. Third vote goes to Lindsay. Fourth vote goes to Merrick. Fifth vote goes to Lindsay. Sixth vote goes to Missy. Seventh vote goes to Merrick. Eighth vote goes
Ah,
to Merrick. Ninth vote goes to Lindsay. 10th vote goes to Missy. One vote left. And Missy is voted
dude.
out. Wow. What a crazy vote that is. 4-3-3-1.
Yeah, where did these numbers lie?
Okay, so Boxo, Kyojiro, Lindsay, and Mash voted correctly here, getting out Missy. Dale, Kohaku, and Missy voted Lindsay. Azula, Kronk, and Yutori voted Merrick. And Merrick, on his own, voted Azula.
He was like, I don't feel like voting for anyone.
Yeah.
I know it's going to be Missy, but I can say that I didn't. Fun fact, I forgot to mention this. He has an item called the Millennium Rod, and essentially he can mind control people, even possess them. So I don't know if he snuck it in on the island or something, but it is a power he could have at this moment.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, definitely good for Merrick. It looked a little dicey there, but he managed to overcome it. So okay, who wins rewards? Group number one is Azula, Kohaku, Kronk, Lindsay, and Mash. Group number two is Boxo, Dale, Kyojiro, Merrick, and Yutori. And group number one wins reward. They win a survivor picnic with wraps and wine, letters from home.
Tasty.
And Mash wins immunity in a challenge called Uncomfortably Numb. Without a doubt, this is easy for him. He does
Oh
the
yeah.
yeah, hold your hand above the head, whatever. He can do that for probably 48 hours without even sweating.
Yeah. Just showing off his guns.
Yep. Merrick is impressing the rest of the team. And then he has a major meltdown after impressing everyone.
It's his, you see, it's Yami Merrick, so his brain, like his mental state is not the greatest,
Yeah.
you know.
Dale and Mash find something in common. And a new line formed between Dale, Kohaku, and Kyojiro. Dale trying to,
Get in this.
get in with the anime peeps.
All right. I don't know. I feel there's only so long you can go without not assessing the threat of Azula or Krunk.
Yeah, they've also voted for Boxo and Mash so many times now that
Yeah.
it feels like, I mean, Boxo and Mash have literally been in numbers each time. So at some point they got to just make the move against them.
Yeah. Lindsay has been racking up these votes, so I think it's
Yeah,
only a matter of time too.
yeah.
So that's what I'm kind of guessing right now.
And Mash uses the idol on Boxo.
Like a bro.
Yep. First vote goes to Boxo, does not count. Second vote goes to Boxo, does not count. Third vote goes to Boxo, does not count. Fourth vote goes to Boxo, does not count. Fifth vote goes to Boxo, does not count.
Played correctly.
Sixth vote goes to Boxo, does not count. Seventh vote goes to Yutori. Eighth vote goes to Kyojiro.
No.
Next vote goes to
No.
Kyojiro. And Kyojiro
No.
is voted out of the game by an idol.
Who did this?
Well, definitely Mash and Boxo, right? Oh no, Mash voted Yutori. It was Boxo, Merrick, and Yutori voted Kyojiro.
Yeah.
Wow, so interesting. Mash wanted Yutori that gone instead, so interesting how that worked out. But
Maybe
yeah,
they're like,
I
just in
think
case
Mash was like,
JoJo has something.
yeah, I think Mash is like, well, if we lose Boxo, I get no more cream puffs.
Yeah.
I can't get that. So I
I think
got
at this point, there are more there than just food. You know, they're so
yeah,
deep in this game. To
yeah.
play, I feel like they have closer bonds than just, you know, food.
I mean, I don't know. You got to see the anime. He literally had the biggest rivalry was because he dropped it. Someone knocked a cream puff off of his hands, and he like went basically Super Saiyan off of it.
That
So
guy.
he loves cream puffs. Okay, Mash doesn't have any more idols. Okay, who wins reward? Group number one is Azula, Dale, Kohaku, and Lindsay. Group number two is Boxo, Kronk, Marek, and Utori. Mash does not participate and cannot even win rewards. And group number two wins reward. They win an afternoon cruise and a feast.
Nice.
And Mash wins immunity. Second immunity in a row.
First one to do it so far this season.
Yeah.
Or just the second immunity in general.
Merrick is impressing the rest of the team. Dale is completely worn out, but is not giving up.
It's really tough to say. Do they just go after Boxo again?
I think they do. I think we just lose Boxo.
That seems pretty probable at this point.
Yeah. Mash
So
uses the vote steal power on Kronk.
I was about to say, because I was like, oh, Mash has that, but I don't know how effective it might be. We'll see.
Yeah. First vote goes to Kronk. Second vote goes to Boxo. Third vote goes to Azula. Fourth vote goes to Kronk. Fifth vote goes to Boxo. Sixth vote goes to Azula. Seventh vote goes to Boxo. Eighth vote goes to Kronk. And Kronk is voted out
It
4-3-2.
didn't matter because, Boxo had 3, Krunk had 4. If one of the numbers, Krunk was probably going to vote for Boxo. So even if even if, Mesh just voted for Azula twice, the thing is, Boxo would have had 4 votes and that would have been enough to go home.
Yeah.
So it did matter.
Yeah, and he used both of them for Kronk. So that actually saved Boxo another round by doing that. Boxo, Lindsay, and the double mash votes took out Kronk. Azula, Dale, and Kohaku voted Boxu, and Merrick and Utori voted Azula.
Man.
Wow.
Now Zula doesn't have her number one anymore.
Yeah. And I'll just say it, Mash has just become a crazy big threat by winning two
Oh yeah,
immunities and literally saving Boxo both times. Okay,
good on him.
reward challenge. Pair number one is Azula Kohaku. Pair number two is Boxo and Dale. And pair number three is Merrick and Utori. And pair number four is Lindsay and Mash. And Lindsay and Mash win reward, and they share it with Kohaku and Dale, not Boxu. And this is the loved ones. Okay,
Interesting.
yeah,
Maybe to garner favor.
yeah, interesting. I think Dale's wife Nancy comes out and finally tells him everything that's happened
On international TV.
on TV. Yeah, she's realized how wrong it was. She was doing it during this whole time, and being
This
away
whole
from
time,
Dale, being away
no,
from Dale for so long after many nights of her having sex with John Redcorn, she realized that that wasn't filling her the hole that is in her heart. And Azula wins immunity, probably a needed immunity.
oh yeah,
Okay,
not too good for Mesh. He's out of advantages right now.
yeah. Lindsay is impressing the rest of the team. Yeah, out of advantages.
Mesh.
I think it's either Mash or Boxo.
I feel like they were targeting Boxo because they couldn't target Mash, and
Yeah,
so I think you get rid of Mash here because he's just too good at this game. He's
yeah.
won the most immunity challenges.
He's
It's
literally
just,
determined how the last two votes go.
yeah. So I think it's unfortunate, but I think his journey ends here.
Okay. First vote goes to Kohaku. Second vote goes to Boxo. Third vote goes to Kohaku. Fourth vote goes to Boxo.
I have been wrong before.
Fifth vote goes to Kohaku. Sixth vote goes to Boxo. Seventh vote goes to Kohaku. And we are tied between Boxo and Kohaku.
I don't think we go to rocks here.
I don't think we do either. I think obviously Mash won't be flipping on Boxo.
No.
Uh I mean I think I
Other
don't know.
than Dale, I don't think Kohaku has really that many alliances.
Yeah. She's definitely been more of a floater.
Yeah.
Okay. First vote goes to Boxo. Second vote goes to Kohaku. Third vote goes to Kohaku. Fourth vote goes to Kohaku. Fifth vote goes to Boxo. And Kohaku is voted out. Who flipped? Utori flipped.
Makes sense.
Did not want to go to rocks for Kohaku.
Especially since she made it this far. Like, it's we have one more elimination before the finale. Like,
Exactly.
you,
Don't let your game get decided by chance. So Azula, Dale, Kohaku, and Utori voted Boxo. Boxo, Lindsay, Merrick, and Mash voted Kohaku. Wow.
man,
Azula has just been gunning so hard for Boxo and Mash and just not.
failing this entire pre-merge or this entire merge for like 6 eliminations in a row,
Yeah.
failing to get her target. I admire her determination. However, it does not. I don't think it garners any votes at the end.
No, even if she's successful, it's been so long of her failing that it just is going to look bad on her resume.
Yeah.
Okay, reward challenge. Boxo wins reward and shares it with Mash and Merrick.
Nice.
They win a helicopter ride to the Malamala Beach Club. I don't know how the heck Boxo gets in a helicopter.
With MASH.
Yeah.
It's probably one of those cargo helicopters, like the
Yeah.
ones like those military grade ones.
Yeah. That's the only way. They can't do the ones you see on Survivor because
Yeah.
those are too small.
Or they have one of those little things to lift it on the bottom.
Yeah.
We just see Boxer just dangling, just dangling there.
Okay, who is going to win immunity? Mash wins his third immunity.
Good on him.
Dale and Lindsay have a small fight. And a new alliance forms between Lindsay and Merrick. Merrick, listen, Lindsay leaves every alliance she's ever in.
And I don't know, she's at a 9, dude.
Yeah.
She is hard. Maybe
Yeah.
it's like Lindsay loves what Merrick's done with his hair when he goes psycho, and like she
Yeah.
is impressed. I mean, fuck, like I would
Yeah.
love to have hair like that.
Yeah. The style is on point.
Exactly.
Lindsay arrests at camp to restore her energy. Okay.
You get rid of Boxo or Azula. I feel like Lindsay's just here to stay, and now when I say that, obviously she's going to go home. But she just got into a big alliance with Merrick. Uh, I say it's one of the top three: Azula, Boxo, or Dale.
Yeah. It's weird because like I think Mash and Boxer should just target Azula, but also maybe you just drag her to the end. She's clearly not getting enough to really do much against you. Maybe you just bring her to the end and no one will vote for her.
It could be a thing where, it'd be like, hey, she's a goat. She never did anything against us. She tried, but failed on every quarter. What is her resume?
Yeah. Okay. Let's see what happens here. First vote goes to Dale. Second vote goes to Azula. Third vote goes to Dale. Fourth vote goes to Azula. Fifth vote goes to Azula. And
Or not?
Azula is taken out. Lindsay is the only one to vote with Azula.
All right. Here
Okay.
we are, finale time.
Finale. Okay. What's your assessment? Who's playing the best game so far?
It is Mashes to lose right now.
Yeah.
Um, that being said, I think Boxo kind of riding on the coattails a little bit. There is some merit to his game, but it's like he's gonna have to tell the jury what were his moves if he gets there without Mash, or even if I think if he goes with Mash, he's doomed.
It's over.
Uh,
I think if anyone gets the end with Mash,
yeah,
it's over.
I think Dale's playing a pretty good social game as well.
Mhm.
Lindsay, she's still around. There's something going on there. Merrick, I think, is playing a very strategic game. It's just not as flashy, I would say.
Mhm.
And Yutori, she's been holding on to that idol. I think, she knows like to like kind of keep quiet, be in the back, and
Yeah.
let, the chips fall
I
where
think
they
she's
may.
a real sleeper threat, honestly. I mean, I've been
Yeah,
seeing she's been doing some interesting voting strategies
patterns.
to kind of play a bit of the underdog, but still having some votes go her way. So
Yeah,
definitely someone to look out for. I could see if she gets the end, say with like a Boxo Lindsay, I could see Tori potentially taking it.
probably.
Okay, who wins immunity? And Mash wins immunity. He also wins a spaghetti meal and cake back at camp, and he shares it with Boxo and Merrick.
Interesting. Very good.
Yeah. I think that's 4 immunities that Mash has won
Yes.
now. Okay, no events occurred. That's it. So I think we're either going to be losing Dale, Lindsay, or Yutori, but I think Yutori has the idol. I think she'll be fine. Um,
Yeah,
I think we're losing Dale.
I think so too.
I think Merrick was able to convince Mash and Boxo at the spaghetti meal. Don't take out Lindsay yet.
Yeah.
Let's keep her around. And Yutori uses the idol. First vote goes to Yutori, does not count. Second vote goes to Yutori, does not count. Third vote goes to Yutori, does not count. Fourth vote goes to Yutori, does not count. Fifth vote goes to Yutori, does not count. Who is going home?
Boxo?
Dale
Dale!
Gribble. It still ends up being Dale.
When you do the math right, but you still end up, or you do the math wrong, but you end up with the right answer.
Yeah. Wow.
All right. Well, obviously it buys her one more day, but you know, I just I don't see how she cracks because Boxo, Mash, and Merrick, they have this alliance
Yeah.
and they've been pretty, they've been sticking to it for quite some time.
Yeah.
I
There
don't
is
see how
a
the
new idol
ladies are.
hidden, so maybe she can find that and then maybe like win a final immunity. Like that is the only way she
Maybe,
gets the end.
but Mash has been pretty good at finding these advantages.
Yeah.
So it feels like her win condition, there's a lot she has to accomplish.
Yeah.
Same with Lindsay, because I think these three, they're tight. They're just going to go to the end with each other.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Idol is currently hidden. Who wins immunity? And Mash wins his fifth immunity challenge.
All right. Who finds
Okay.
this idol? If they find it at all.
Mash finds the idol.
So just use it on Boxo or Merrick. Boom.
Yeah. Mash and Yutori bond strongly. Wow, he is just that is jury management right there.
Or Tori is trying to, be sneaky sneak and be like, I know you guys voted for me, but please, I don't deserve to go home here.
Yeah. Do you really want to target a sweet little defenseless girl?
Yes, I've read the manga.
uh okay, yeah. I mean, I think it's Yutori. I think that's just the what's gonna happen. Mash used the idol on Merrick, surprisingly, not Boxo.
I think it was like because he's used it on Boxer before, and maybe to be like, so it doesn't look like he's playing favorites.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I got you this time.
First vote goes to Boxo. Second vote goes to Yutori. Third vote goes to Yutori. And
Yeah,
Yutori just voted out. Yeah.
because they read the manga.
Yep. They know. She is actually extremely devious. Um, okay. So
Lindsay,
yeah, I think Lindsay's the most likely to get taken out here, or at least go into fire. Right? We do have fire.
I don't know. I feel if we look at these alliances, because I don't think Merrick turns here.
Uh-huh.
Well, I mean, at least turns against the guys. Well, maybe it might behoove
Yeah,
him
I mean, he
too.
does have a higher loyalty to Lindsay than to Boxo and Mash.
Because Mash is playing such a stellar game. It really is. If Mash loses, I
Yeah.
think that's where you turn on him.
Yeah,
I
but
think
he
even Boxo, you have to
but the
recognize,
thing
hey,
is, Mash has been great at challenges. He's guaranteed, even if he loses this immunity, to go into a fire challenge.
I mean, oh wait, yeah, this is 37,
Yeah.
so
Okay, who wins? Final immunity. And Mash wins the motion, winning it. 6 immunities.
now does he sacrifices,
That
safety?
that is the Giga Chad play right there. No events occurred.
All right.
He grants safety to Merrick, putting Boxo into fire against
Who's
Lindsay.
number one? Maybe to beef up his resume.
Yeah. Is he trying to like help his bro out?
Beef up his resume. Because
Yeah.
all Boxo has to do is can he just dispense fire?
Yeah. Oh, actually, yeah, he can.
So
Yeah, this is
I mean
actually
he can just fire.
yeah. Yeah.
and just burn the rope there.
Yeah, yeah. He can dispense alcohol and then dispense lighter and just go bam and then bam.
Yeah.
It's a
Even
fire.
if it's just with traditional travel tools, he can even
Yeah.
just dispense the sticks
Yeah.
and then just fire. Boom.
Boxo wins.
Yeah.
Lindsay is eliminated.
Well, I will give this some credit to her as well. She was the final Western
Yeah.
animation contestant left.
Yeah, she definitely made it the furthest for them. So good on her. And it came at the price of her. She left like 5 alliances in this
Yeah.
season. So,
All right.
well,
So I think it's MASH.
I think it's Mash, and then maybe Merrick gets like 2 votes, 1 or 2
I can see
votes.
that.
Yeah,
I can see that.
first vote goes to Mash. Second vote goes to Merrick. Third vote goes to Mash. Fourth vote goes to Mash. Fifth vote goes to Merrick. Sixth vote goes to Merrick. Seventh vote goes to Mash. Eighth vote goes to
He
Mash.
wins.
And ninth vote and winner in a 7
Well
to 3
done.
votes. Mash Bernadette. Giga Chad his way to a victory here.
I gotta say, man, he was pretty cool. I definitely need to check the show out.
Yeah.
Means I have to sign up for Crunchyroll again.
I'll
Uh,
give you the username password for free.
no.
Okay,
You,
no, I won't do that. I won't do
you
that.
won't. All right, cool, 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 cool,
Yeah.
cool. We
Yeah.
don't break law. Well,
Yeah.
actually, there's no laws against it, but
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. The people have Crunchyroll accounts that have like hundreds of people using them. So,
all right. Well,
okay, but yeah,
anywho, that all aside, we
yeah.
gotta praise Matt.
And Peter Griffin wins the fan favorite award. How?
I think for the lulls, I think just for the lulls, that's why.
The fourth place. I mean, I guess they loved that this try was such a train wreck.
Yeah.
Okay, well, definitely a fun season. I think there's definitely a few people who I'm excited to see come back for All Stars.
I think there's a decent chunk of people,
Yeah,
big decent chunk. Like, it might be hard to because I think Mash, Merrick, Boxo, they're Lindsay, Utor, like that first 5 row, I can
I'd
see.
even say then you can go Dale and Azula. I think honestly the
Yeah.
final 7 are all potential returning players.
Yeah, it's like I can even say even like far back, like I said, it's gonna be tough. We can't always bring everyone back. Like
Yeah.
Missy, she's another good one. Crunk. There's some good peeps. But yeah, man, this was a fun season. Yeah, it turned out great. Let's see these statistics.
So Mash won 10 challenges.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. Utori had 20 votes against her. Boxo had 19.
Oh my God.
Lindsay was the most strategic.
And
Interesting.
then Azula and Dale. Funny enough, the most strategic people did not make it to the end.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. In fact, I'm surprised Zula is number 2 because she did not get her way at all.
At all. No, she didn't even. They didn't get eliminated at all. So like, not even in her. Not even after she left, no one was like, "Hey, we should finally do it." No, she just completely left no impression on getting rid of these two.
Yeah. Okay. And yeah, Mash with those 3 idols really helped, I think, get him that a huge resume and got his bro Boxo to the end, which Boxo was just riding coattails, so it was kind of like a natural goat.
Yeah, I mean, he won a few challenges and like
Yeah.
fire. but it wasn't enough for his resume at the end.
No, no. I mean, he was just paired up with Mash, who was just kind of dominating the game. So
Yeah. But yeah, man, that was an awesome season. Happy with how it turned out, even though in the beginning it was like, what, why? No.
yeah,
But I'd say we have a very great winner. Some great contestants, very solid.
yeah, yeah. I'm excited to see them all return, and yeah, starting off this season pretty strong here.
Very strong. Yeah. We'll
Okay.
see how some of them interact with we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. Like this is the
Yeah.
first one, and then we have 19. We have like three more before 19, and one of those is going to be our prediction because when this comes out, it's going to be less than a month from when Survivor 45 starts.
Yeah.
So we're going to be getting to that those videos soon. And yeah, but I think just how the math is mathing, we can probably get All Stars 19 done right in time, maybe around the same time as 27.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely would like to try to get that so that way we don't have to
I
come
think it's
back.
very doable with that.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, maybe we'll have to squeeze an extra one somewhere, like to do a double recording, but we'll see. I think we'll be fine.
Today is a double recording, fun
Yeah,
fact.
yeah. True,
But
true.
I mean, if you watch two episodes back to back and we're in the same like outfit, odds are, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So yeah, that does it here for this episode. It was a fun one, and I guess we'll see you in the next one.
All right, take care.